mechanized labor. That is the problem. You can't force yourself into that sector. But the ordinary Nigerian will tell you that labor has compromised generally, whereas we have distinctions on who covers where. You know, you have somebody in Nupeng, in that area, you know, he covers that area. But when we're in a battle like this, everybody comes together and look at it in solidarity. But some other unions are equally doing well. You know, some others have their own weaknesses.
So in this situation now, all of you are together on this one?
Yeah, because the issue of minimum wage is that, and like I said, benchmark, from where we now negotiate higher for what we want, either in the private sector or public sector. And that must be written, that must be clear. You know, those operating in the private sector, public sector is a basic for all of us to agree on.
Okay. Mr. Ogunleye, that thing about labor compromising and not being together in terms of this fight, first of all, holding government accountable, and then the fight to ensure that the welfare of the worker is enforced. How does that play out for you?
Well, I mean, over the years, perhaps over the decades, we've seen more than sufficient evidence that some leaderships over time in the labor movement will come across as having compromised or not effectively, convincingly, okay, fought the labor corner, especially during the military regime. You know, but even now, perhaps now just as well. But again, I like to sort of anchor all of this around principles. And I'm happy that he and the Mr. Nweze in Abuja have talked about structural reform, you know, what some call restructuring and things. There are too many systemic toxins in the Nigerian governance architecture that you need to take holistically and, you know, rejig and reform and tweak. For instance, personally, and this is my personal view, and I've said it in a number of fora, you need to review the necessity of a 4-yearly renewal of mandates for elective offices. I don't see the need for it. Because they do 4 years in the US does not mean we should be doing 4 years. There are so many areas where our so-called American type constitution deviates from what they do in America in practice, in so many things. We don't have to spend all that money and truncate governance every 4 years. I think it's too frequent. I personally, because if you look at a governor, a president that does 8 years, literally they've actually done 6 years. When they come in the first 6 months, in fact, maybe less than 6 years, the first 6 months, they're trying to figure, you know, we even had a president who didn't appoint ministers for 6 months, okay? And then after 2 years plus, they stop again. They start now looking for money, grabbing money for the next election. Most governors now literally are not really doing development as I speak. They are prepared. So you lose about 2 years, 2.5 years. So I'm saying, instead of wasting that much money, encouraging all the looting that goes along with preparing for elections, every 4 years, renew mandate for people to continue failing. Why don't we renew this mandate once every 6 years, okay, or even 7 years?
We'll take a moment.
And this is some of the areas where you waste money so that you cannot pay Mr. and Mrs. Everybody.
When we come back, we'll tidy up our closing thoughts here. Please do not go away. Our closing moment here, Mr. Ajaero, the governors are meeting to take a stand today. But at the end of it all, what's your final word as regards this minimum wage matter?
Well, I think the governors, the private sector, the federal government should pay 30,000 naira minimum wage. Pay a living wage, reignite the economy. And when you pay a living wage, when you pay better wage, the purchasing power of workers, you know, gets strengthened, and the economy grows. Now, but when you pay even the 30,000, which is less than 1,000 a day, and you have a family of 6 that receive less than 50 naira per meal, then there's no school fees, there's no transport, there's no housing, there's no Medicare, then you are subjecting the people to perpetual suffering. I think there's need for a living wage in an economy like ours, you know, that you don't have a lot of productive economy, because every worker takes care of not less than 5 to 10 people who are not working. If you do that, I think the economy of Nigeria will be on a better footing.
Mr. Ogunleye.
Yes, I mean, look, I continue to be a strong advocate, you know, almost a fanatical one, that the cost of governance in Nigeria is a scandal. And I'm not saying leave it to the governors or the president or ministers to say, I will not take my salary. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a line item audit of everything that is going on in government to determine the things that are necessary and are not necessary to spend on. That's number one. In the execution of the budget, we know there is inbuilt, you know, inflation of prices, of project costs, of infrastructure. We know all of these things. Why doesn't Nigeria as a system take on this issue once and for all and look at all the other ways by which we just waste money? I've just talked about the frequency of mandate renewal. Why do you renew mandate for 4 years for people to go and fail? Let them do 6, 7 years and go away once and for all. And then we strengthen the civil society and all the legal mechanisms to hold them to account, so that it's not going to be, okay, one time I will do whatever I like, punish people and go away. No. Okay? I believe, for instance, as part of saving money, look, we are spending 80, 70% plus of our earnings just to pay politicians and salaries. This is not valid. Therefore, and it's not viable. Therefore, I just focus on what concerns me the most. The cost of governance in Nigeria is a scandal. Are we prepared to look at it and verify it? If we do that, I think we will liberate money and we'll free more money to be able to do things like pay a decent economy boosting wage and do much else.
Thank you very much, Sustainable Development expert Mr. Bolaji Ogunleye and Joe Ajaero, representative of Organized Labour. Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your thoughts. And that's our show for today. I want to thank you for letting us be a part of your morning. Wishing you a beautiful rest of the day. Bye-bye. I'm Neo Taigbe.
Thank you for watching, everybody, and definitely do have a blessed day. I am Ajuri Ngelale.
The views and opinions expressed by guests on this program are those of the maker and do not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, and endorsement of Channels Television.